Well, if we take the two examples that we've just gone through the debate,
Yep.
Saurabh has a vasana of, even though at the end he wants to serve Santos, his vasana is to have that car which
Yep.
he can drive not in between when he sort of takes Santos to airport. Whereas
Yep.
Pranay's vasana is more, as I said earlier, it's more religious and Bhagwan related.
Yep.
Murti Pratishtha Karu is quite a big sort of achievement in your life if you can do it.
Yeah. Okay. So having sadvasana is obviously better than having asadvasana. I mean, regardless of the type of vasana you have, having a satsang related one, you're still gonna get a rebirth on this earth until it's fulfilled. The only difference is that you'll come back into like a satsang family until that vasana is completed that you have for satsang. So let's say you want to do a murti prashtishta, but you couldn't do the murti prashtishta. That is a sad vasana, but because you still got the vasana in you, and because it's not completed, you're gonna get rebirthed. So you can eventually do that vasana that you have. Whereas the opposite was going to happen if you have the asad vasana. So, let's say you wanted a new Audi for whatever reason, for serving Santos or serving your friends. Now, if you don't fulfill that vasana, you're going to come back into this earth, but it could be anything. It won't be a satsang family. It would be any of the 8.4 billion life forms until you get into a position where you can fulfill that vasana, and then by that time you'll eventually or hopefully have more asad vasanas that you start completing. So yeah, go on.
I just wanted to say, sometimes when someone is really ill and they're probably not going to make it for very long, sometimes they tell their family, close relatives, their last wish ke akarjos, katha or something satsang related. It's almost like if they weren't able to do it, it's almost passing that on to someone else who will have more time or ability to do it. I don't know if that removes you from the cycle of births or not, but yeah, I just thought of that when you were talking.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I can find out, unless anyone else knows the answer to that.
I think so. Vasana is mostly mental stuff. So if you think you finished your vasana, it won't affect you. But once you passed it on, hopefully you believe that you finished it and it won't affect you. Because, for example, vasana is incomplete stuff. If you believe it's completed by someone else, then it won't affect you, I think.
Okay, that's
actually in Vachanamrut, Maharaj said you ultimately, if you want to get the moksha, you have to get rid of both sad and asad vasana, basically. So you should not have any even in the end, so you should start by giving up the asad vasana, the materialistic desires.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately you want to get to the ultimate goal is to give up all desires, be it sad or asad, both of them. And that's what Maharaj says in the Vachanamrut. And because otherwise, even if someone has a sad vasana to say, I want to motu mandir bandhuchi, motu jagan karo, then they might come back. Maharaj will give them a birth as a satsangi, good satsangi, a rich satsangi in their next life. They'll come, do satsangi seva, fulfill their desire, and then go back to Akshardham or whatever. So yeah, ultimate goal is to give up all desires, all vasanas, basically.
okay.
But you have to start with the materialistic, the asad vasanas first. And that's why I think what Santos trying to convince or teach us is that, okay, it is not easy to give all the give up asad vasanas like earning money, having good car, good house. But how you can slowly start on that path is by linking in Bhagwan and Santosh. So using your money for satsang, for mandir, using your car for Santosh, using your house for Santo Acharya Maharaj, whatever. So that way you start on you start your journey. You get linked into satsang, and slowly you realize that all of this is unnecessary or whatever, and then you give up. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Okay. That was a good explanation. That actually just brings me on to the next slide. So we know like the different types of vasana, but what understanding do we have so that we can free ourselves from the cycle of birth and death? Moving on to the next slide. We've all got goals, wishes in life that keep us motivated and have a sense of direction. But what are we doing wrong, which then makes us wish that wish become a vasana? It's more of a flame that's fueled, and we develop a mindset of, I really want this, or I want this to happen. But changing our mindset, that's not gonna eradicate the vasana. So what we need to understand is basically this quote that's on your screen, which is Jem Maraj Rakhe Em Raji Revo. So regardless of whether we feel the wish or not, we just got to be happy with whatever Maharaj has given us. In our life, like new opportunities are going to arise, new things are going to come, and as humans, we naturally develop a want for them. Like a new car comes out, we want that new car. A new phone comes out, we want that new car. However, we should ensure, or we should make sure that we don't live a life that we're controlled by these desires. We should be happy with what we have. We should be santos. So let's say a new phone does come out, the new iPhone 20 comes out, but we're still stuck with the iPhone 8. We shouldn't be like, oh, I want that phone. We should just be happy. Oh, we've got an iPhone 8. Cool, isn't it? Like Bhagwan wanted it to be. So we should have that control over the desires. And then when we don't get what we want, we shouldn't ask questions like, oh, why didn't this happen? We shouldn't get upset over it. We should just understand that, it wasn't meant to be, like, as again, we use this example, there's an iPhone that's come out. We shouldn't be like, oh man, I ain't got this iPhone, man, I want it. Like, we shouldn't be like that. We should just be happy. Like, Jem Maraj Rakhe Im Raji Revo. So we should just be happy with what we have. We should control our desires. And Bhagwan's always showering us with like blessings in disguise. There'll be a reason that we don't have something that we want, or we have something that we don't want, or we've got something, or we don't have something, or we should just be happy with everything. It's at the end of the day, it's his wish. We always say, Hari Nicha, I got a new car. Hari Nicha, I don't have a new car, but I want a new car. Hari Nicha. There's nothing wrong with having a wish that's related to Bhagwan. It might be serving the Santos, in a comfortable Audi, or it might be making a Honano Siasan at home. But these sort of desires we develop because we have bhav for Bhagwan. But regardless if it's, with a pure intention, at the time of death, we've held on to that wish, and we're going to have to come back to fulfill that wish. So the key thing here is that we shouldn't fix ourselves on these wishes. We should just be happy with what we can do and what we have. Opportunities are always going to arise, so just be happy with what we have. Jem whatever Bhagwan's given us, we should just be happy. And that's one of the main points for this Vasna, this Sabha, this week. It's Jem Maraj Rakhe, M Raji Ravano. So whatever Bhagwan's given us, Bhagwan, wherever Bhagwan takes us, whatever road he leads us down, we should just be happy with, with everything. There's actually a Vachnamat on this. So Gadrapatam 74, one of the questions, one of the points that Maharaj says is, I'm going to read this now. Since we are the Das of Narayan, we should be pleased with whatever pleases him. If it is not the wish of Narayan, Nar Narayan, then our satsang will flourish. If he wishes to make it decrease, then it will decrease. Also, if Nar Narayan seats us on an elephant, we should be happy. And if he seats us on a donkey, then we should also remain happy. We should not have the slightest love for anything except the holy feet of Nar Narayan. If there is a person whose mind is attached to just a minor responsibility, then what will become of him if he is given a major responsibility of taking care of the world? So in essence, he's just saying, if Bhagwan wants you to flourish in a satsang, you will. If he doesn't, then it won't. So Bhagwan's going to give you these opportunities and point you in this direction or in the other direction. You just got to be happy and take what he's given you. And that pretty much sums up.
I just
Go on.
I just want one more point. We talked about the Vasana today, and Maharaj has a one Vasana as well. In the Vachanat, Maharaj said, "Ke mane koi Vasana nathi, but mane ek Vasana zarur che." Does anyone know about it? We thought about Vasana is good or bad, or shouldn't have role. We discussed about it, but there is a one Vasana we all should. Maharaj ne પણ વાસના છે, which is Maharaj said કે અમને અંતરમાં બીજી કોઈ વાસના નથી, પણ એક જ વાસના છે કે આ સત્સંગની અંદર ભગવાનના ભક્તો અને સંતો વચ્ચે જન્મ ધારણ કરી અને એની વચ્ચે રહેવું ને એવી મહારાજ કે અમને શુભ વાસના છે. વચનામૃતમાં મહારાજે કીધું. તો that વાસના we all should have કે સત્સંગની અંદર રહેવું અને ભગવાનના ભક્તને સંતને અને મહારાજને રાજી કરવાનું, એ વાસના આપણે બધાને હોવી જોઈએ. એટલે that is the વાસના we all should have. એવું મહારાજે વચનામૃતમાં કીધું છે. રાજસ્થાન.
Okay, cool. So just gonna wrap up, come to the end and wrap up. So this week we looked at the flames that we all have in our everyday lives, that are not only worldly related, but they can be satsang related. We also looked at the two different types of vasana that we experience in our lives. So one of them was the asad vasana, which is more worldly related desires, and then you have the sad vasana, which is more satsang related vasana. Now, the outcome of both of these vasanas, regardless of how much we have of each, will always result in us coming back to earth, because it's just another cycle of birth and death, because we've got unfilled vasanas. And the final thing we learned is the understanding, of the vasana. We should maintain the fact that, whatever Maharaj wants, it's because it's for the best of us. It's for us. He has a plan. We're just part of it. We should just be happy and grateful for what we've got and what he's given us. Any questions before we sign off or conclude? No. Okay, so Next week is the final week of this monthly topic. Next week, we are going to find out a final method to help extinguish the flame. Next week's presentation, you will need a notepad and a pen. So join next week for the presentation to find out how to extinguish this flame that we have. I'm just going to wrap up. There's a next slide. We've got just Krishna Sarup Swami. He's just going to give us a few words of wisdom, and following the presentation, a little clip from Swami, I'm just going to go straight into the end of the presentation. Thank you for joining, and hope to see you all next week with a pen and notepad. If the sound works, is it going to work?
Not got anything here. Just make sure you're sharing the audio.
કે એક વડવાઈ ખાલી વડની ખૂંચેલી હોય ને વડ આખો ઊંધો વળી ગયો હોય, પણ એક વડવાઈ એ જમીનને અડી ગયો તો વડલાને પાછો લીલો કરી નાખે. આપણને આના પછીનો બીજો જન્મ તો જ નહીં આવે જો આ વાસનાની વડવાઈ ખતમ થઈ ગઈ હશે તો. વડમાં તો ઘણી વડવાઈઓ હોય ને, તેમ વાસના પણ અનંત પ્રકારની છે. વાસનાનો એક પ્રકાર નથી, કહી ન શકાય એટલા પ્રકારની વાસનાઓ છે. એઘૂર વડલો હોય ને તો વડવાયું ગણી શકો કેટલા તાંતડા છે. જરૂર નથી કે બધી વડવાઈઓ જમીને અડે તો વડલો લીલો થાય. વડવાઈનું એક તંદડું છે ને એ ઇનફ છે. તેમ આપણે બીજા જન્મ ધરવા માટે એક નાની સૂક્ષ્મ વાસના ઇનફ છે. એવું નથી કે આવી મોટી કંઈક વાસના રહી ગયો, લગ્ન કરવાની વાસના રહી ગયો, ખાવાની રહી ગયો તો જ આપણે બીજો જન્મ થાય. ના, તુચ્છ જેવી વાસના હોય એમ કીધું, પણ જન્મ ધરાવી દે.
अष्टकोणने ऊर्ध्वरेखा स्वस्तिकजाम्बो जाववाला वज्रयङ्कुश केतुनपद्मा जमणे भागे नववाला त्रिकोणकडशने गोपद सुन्दर धनुषने मीनवाला अर्धचन्द्रने व्योम साचे डाबे पगे चिन्हवाला.
Okay, Shravan guys, see you all next week.